somewhere in the quiet countryside of Japan. In a modest house with a small garden, Karen and her husband had built a life together over the past 4 years. They didn't own many expensive things, yet they felt rich in ways money couldn't measure. This was a home where love wasn't just spoken. It was shown in small, thoughtful acts.
ただいま。
誰だったら遅かったね。
あ、ちょっとおじさんのとこを見に行ってて。
今日で退院だっけ？
うん。もう大丈夫そうみたいだけど、ほら、おじさん一人身だから、俺が手伝ってやんないとさ。
偉いわね。大丈夫だった？
うん。結構おじさん世話になってたからね。
どうかしたの？
いや、ちょっと言いにくいんだけどさ。カノン、おじさんの介護しに行ってくれないかな。
Karen's husband brought up something unexpected. He gently asked if she could help take care of his uncle for a while. This uncle was someone special, a man who had lived through many ups and downs, and yet carried himself with a calm kindness that made people feel at ease. Karen had heard many stories about him. He had been there for her husband during difficult times, offering guidance, help, and a steady presence. Now, the uncle needed some assistance. Nothing dramatic, but a little help with daily tasks, meals, and company. Karen's schedule at work was already quite busy, and the thought of adding more responsibilities made her hesitate for a moment. But as she sat there, listening to her husband talk about how much this uncle meant to him, her heart softened. She knew kindness was most meaningful when it required effort. And gratitude, she thought, wasn't just a feeling. It was something you acted on. So, with a warm but determined smile, she agreed. The very next day, after finishing a long day at the office, Karen made her way to the uncle's home. The moment he opened the door, she was greeted with a smile that seemed to erase the fatigue of the day. There was a genuine warmth in his expression, as if he truly appreciated her being there. Karen quickly went into the kitchen, rolling up her sleeves. She didn't prepare anything fancy, just a simple home-cooked meal. Miso soup, rice, and a small plate of grilled fish. The aroma filled the room, and the uncle took his first bite, his face lit up in quiet delight. After returning home, Karen felt tired, yes, but not in the kind of way that weighed her down. It was the gentle tiredness that comes from doing something worthwhile. In her heart, there was a quiet sense of satisfaction. She had given her time, and in return, she felt a deeper connection to her family. That night, her husband noticed the faint weariness in her eyes, but also the subtle glow of contentment. He thanked her softly, and in that small moment, Karen knew she had made the right choice.
おじさん元気そうでよかったよ。
それが一番だね。
Over the next few weeks, Karen's visits to her husband's uncle became part of her rhythm. Each time, she was greeted with the same warm smile, as though her arrival alone made the day brighter. She began to notice little things about the uncle that spoke volumes about his character. But as the days went on, Karen started to feel the weight of balancing it all. Her office work often ran late, deadlines piled up, and there were evenings when her body simply wanted to rest. Part of her wondered if she could keep this pace. Yet, when she reached the uncle's door, the sight before her erased every trace of hesitation. He was standing there, waiting, as though he had been listening for her footsteps. "You didn't have to come in this weather," he said with a gentle laugh. But Karen simply smiled and replied, "Family is worth showing up for, even on rainy days." Karen thought about how easy it was to underestimate the impact of small acts. A cooked meal, a shared conversation, a visit on a rainy day. These were not just gestures. They were the bricks that built the bridge between
た
hearts.
だいま。
あ、おかえり。
Her husband saw the quiet determination in her eyes. He reached for her hand and said, "You're making a difference for him, and I'm so grateful for you." Those words, simple as they were, wrapped around her like a blanket. Still, Karen knew she would have to keep finding a balance. The uncle's gratitude became her motivation, and in that growing bond, Karen found not just a duty, but a quiet joy. Each visit was no longer just an obligation. It was a choice she wanted to keep making. Karen realized her visits were more than a promise to her husband. They were a bond she deeply valued. True care, she saw, was mutual. Even when one needed more help, shared presence and connection nourished both. Kindness, she understood, thrives best when it's a partnership. Spring arrived gently, carrying the scent of plum blossoms. Caring for Uncle had become a natural part of Karen's life, no longer an obligation but a choice. She learned to pace herself, arrive with more energy, and share moments that felt intentional. One afternoon, over tea, the uncle compared people to plum trees, growing slowly but beautifully when cared for daily. His words stayed with her. Later, he invited them to dinner, cooking with the same care she'd once given him. Before they left, he gifted her a young plum tree, a symbol of patience and nurturing. Back home, Karen placed it by the window, reminded that lasting bonds, like trees, flourish through steady care and sincerity.